We heard you like casting fresh faces that are not connected to any other well-known roles for your movies. So we would like to know, how was the process of casting this dynamic young group of actors and actors for this movie, and how it all happened in the end.
Yeah, I wanted, what inspired me for this story, what I really wanted, when I knew I had a chance to make an alien movie, I always had this memory of when I watched the extended cut of Aliens. There's a moment where you see a lot of young kids running around the colony where Aliens takes place, and I always thought, wow, what it would be for young kids growing up in a mining planet that has no future. You have to wait 50 years to be fully terraform, and so there's nothing going to happen to them except they know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to be miners and they're going to work in the plants, and that's it. And there's no, so that idea of, I was always intrigued, what will happen with characters like those reach, their teenagers, their early 20s, like what do they want out of life? Are they going to stay there? Are they going to fight to get out of there? I was always intrigued about that. So I knew that when we wrote the story, it was going to be people in their early 20s, which was going to make it very different from most of the other aliens movies in the past, which is usually professionals, from truck drivers or colonizers, but usually it's older people. And so we started there, and I personally always prefer when you have the experience that feels more real to me when I go to a theater to watch a movie is when I don't know much, I don't know their faces, not like super famous actors that I now have to accept that, well, today this person that I've seen a billion times now pretends to be something else, which I don't mind, but I think my favorite experience in theaters have always been when I didn't know anybody, and by the end of the movie, I love each one of them. So that's what I wanted. It really was getting on my way to make sure I found people that were just start to do great job, great work, and that necessarily not the masses knew per each one of them, but that was the approach to the casting, to really try to find new faces that when you meet them, you go, I have never seen them outside, some of them at least, you've never seen them outside of living in that colony, so you can feel like they were born and grew and grew up in that place.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. So in comparison to the older and more professional counterparts in the other movies, will we see an influence of their age in the decision making and how the story progresses?
Absolutely, as it should be, right? Otherwise, it would be a terrible story otherwise. But yes, it is quite different, right? That's what I love about it. It's more visceral decision making. It's less intellectual. It's so for the type of movie that this is, which is, it is an action thriller, but has a lot of the DNA of survival horror as well, like the first film, right? So you want smart characters, but that react the way you would in the movies, like when they're running away or they decide to go upstairs or downstairs, you go, great, that's what I would do. And then still they die, and you go, shit, I would have died at that point. And then you realize, and that happens a few times, until one character, it's smarter than the audience in a way, and start doing things that go, God damn it, I would have never done that. And that person survives, and you feel like you've grown and you learn, you realize that decision should be made in a certain way and others. So they are, the fact that they are younger, I think in this case, I feel, for me at least, they felt more connected to the audience. They feel more like what the audience would be. We as an audience will, very few of us would be prepared to survive those scenarios, right? So, but if you have professionals, then it becomes a different decision making. But so it definitely has an impact, for good and for bad, because kids make dumb decisions sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
and but some kids make really good decisions. So it is connected to their age. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So you just mentioned yourself, it's more of like action thriller to sci-fi horror. So for many people, you're known for Evil Dead and Don't Breathe. Did you incorporate elements of your previous work into this newest Alien movie?
Yeah, you do, just like you do with your work. I mean, we are just one person, and we just know one way to do our work, and I think there's no way there wouldn't be things from my previous movies in this one, just because I made it, and that's just no one way to make movies. I guess you learn, and you hopefully get better through years, and every movie is a learning experience. But there's definitely many elements of that. There is Oh, look, how scary the movie is really depend on the audience, right?
Okay.
I would say I didn't find Don't Breathe scary at all. I thought it was just a suspense thing, and some people find it terrifying. Some people don't. And I didn't think I thought Evil Dead was scary, not that scary. And then I have people faint in the theaters and just so you never know. That's a very subjective concept. But there's definitely terrifying stuff in this movie for sure, because like I said, it's really because it is a love letter to all the films. You in a way, there's many of there's a lot of the DNA of the first film, which is terrifying, right? A lot of the horror of the first film depends heavily on not knowing what the creature is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, most people know what the creature is at this point, though we played in many different ways in the movie. It's not as straightforward as one would think. But there is definitely can be a terrifying experience for people. I mean, we had the experience of showing it into a very short group of people and stuff, and someone says it's this most terrifying movie they've seen in their lives. So he's like, oh, great, I'll take it. But it is because it has mostly the DNA, I would say, of the first two films. So I found Aliens terrifying when I saw it as a kid. Terrifying.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Compared with the first movie, well, it's a different DNA. It's more action thriller. It has elements of horror, but it's not as heavily horror as the first film. But we have DNA from all of them, I would say, but heavily from first one, the second one.
Thank you. So I think I have time for one short question. At the end of a teaser, we see, I think it's Kaylee Spaney holding a rifle and meeting the xenomorph for the first time. And it looks kind of like an homage to the old Ripley from the first movies. So are there any more homages and Easter eggs for the fans to explore and find in this movie from the franchise?
Well, absolutely. It's like think about it this way. It's like if you haven't seen any of them, I think you have a blast watching the movie. You go in, you don't know anything. I'm jealous that you never seen any of this. You go in and you got to discover all this world. Wow, what an experience. Then if you've seen them all, you'll have a total ride, because you will be that guy in the theater just bugging your friend next to you that doesn't know as much, telling him, you know why he mentioned that, what that gun is from, what that planet they're talking about is, and your friend's gonna go, okay, enough, we get it, you've seen them all. But that is exactly how it works. Like if you've seen the movies, if you've seen the past movies, as she walks out of the elevator, you're gonna go like, that's how Ripley came out of the elevator in Aliens, and your friend's gonna go, shut up. But that's exactly what I want. So there's homages and reference to absolutely every movie. I mean, I love all of them. I really love all of them. I love some more than others for sure, but I really love all of them. I even with the experience that weren't exactly what I was looking for when I went to see a specific alien movie, it stayed with me forever. They all stay with me forever. I haven't forgotten about any of them, and that's very special. So that's why there's love for all the alien movies in this one.